What if that thing in your life that you have so wanted to be healed could be healed today? Like, what if you found healing today? That's what's possible. That's what's real. And we get so accustomed to carrying problems with us that we don't expect healing or that we feel discouraged around healing. Well, the law of God, the law of good, God is the only power. It is the only good. It is the only reality. And we get to be in alignment with that in our own thinking. This law of God, otherwise known as divine science or scientific Christianity, the healing that Jesus practiced when he embodied the Christ, the true idea of God, voicing good and healing everybody around him, that's available right here, right now. The Christ is always available. That power of God is always here. So there was a time in my life when I had an issue with my wrists. I had there's a term for it, and it was unsightly, and it was painful, and it was very difficult. And it went on and on and on. And I prayed about it and prayed about it and prayed about it, and it would get better, and then it would get worse. And finally, I was like on my knees on the floor in this. We had just moved to this house that we were renting, and there was no furniture. So I was in this living room with just a carpet and nothing. And I was on my knees on the floor, just reaching out to God. And I just turned it completely over to God. I stopped struggling with it myself and trying to figure it out. And I just truly, wholeheartedly turned it over to God and let God be God. And in an instant, there were like big lumps on my wrists. Both lumps went into my wrists. They would just disappeared. And the pain left, and I was like instantaneously healed. And I just sobbed because I knew I was healed. I just sobbed. And it was one of those healings. And there haven't been many of those like instantaneous sort of physical healings, but it took me months to get to that place of humility. But the healing was instantaneous. When I truly turned it over to God, I was healed. So we have opportunity today to stop battling with error or the devil or the enemy or whatever it is you call it, the trouble, the problem, and we can turn it over to God and just say, God, you're the only power here, and only good is the reality. And I can yield to that. I can be humble enough to yield to that. So pick one thing in your life today that you want to see, that you so desire to see healing on, and let yourself be transformed by God, by the Christ. And then let me know in the comments what happened. Like, let's all gather around this idea of healing, because if we're not healing, we got nothing. Like, if we're not seeing, that's what Jesus did. He healed. He preached too, but he healed. And people followed him because he was healing. So let's heal something in our lives today by turning to God and letting God be the power and letting the Christ influence our consciousness so that we see the reality rather than buying into the illusion. So lots of love. Let me know where you're watching from. And definitely, if you haven't subscribed to this or followed, definitely do that and share this, because everybody deserves healing. Everybody deserves to reach out to God and let God be the power in their life and find healing and be transformed. So lots of love.